And now, words of wisdom with Adam Carriker.
Chuck Carroll came to town riding on a pony. I stuck a feather up his ass and called him a jabroni.
Seriously?
Happy Easter.
Seriously? Wow. Okay.
Well, I can't take credit for that. I watched an old rock promo where he made fun of Cena. He originally used it, but I thought it applied to us just perfectly.
Wow.
I thought it was marvelous.
Okay. Well, welcome to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. That foul-mouthed individual is Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
Hi, Mom.
I am the wholesome weight loss champion and former pro wrestling announcer Chuck Carroll. This Fourth and Pain. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Fourth and Pain and like us on Facebook. Happy Easter. Huge, absolutely ginormous show on tap today. WrestleMania right around the corner. WWE Raw Monday night at the Verizon Center. Adam, we're going to be joined by Ryback on this very show. Very excited about this.
I am elated about this. Do you think his arms are bigger than mine?
I don't know, but
I don't think so.
Well, he's a big dude.
I have the largest arms in the universe.
I think that you might be taller. I just don't know about the actual biceps. We'll bring that up with him.
You want to know a true fact?
Absolutely.
My nickname in college was Table because it looked like I had 4 legs.
I'll be
That is a true story, by the way.
Table because he's got 4 legs.
Coach L gave me that nickname. Thanks, Coach.
All right. But before we go any further, I wanted to start with your quarterback on the Washington Redskins. For whatever reason, Adam, Robert Griffin III, he is in the news always. And it's not always his doing, but certainly a statement that he released this week landed him firmly on the headlines. But before we get to that, there's kind of a chronological order in things. And that begins with your coach, who issued a statement at the NFL owners meetings last week. And that was the same time that he said he thinks that the option will help keep quarterbacks early. And he said, healthy, I'm sorry, will help keep quarterbacks healthy, and that Robert needs to learn how to slide. And so that kind of made me wonder, is he really putting the blame on Robert for Robert's knee injury, saying that, well, he should have gotten rid of the ball, he should have gotten down? Is he putting the blame on this rookie quarterback that you knew coming out of the draft had the shifty legs?
I don't know that he's putting the blame on Robert. It's no secret. I mean, I've said on this show, Robert needs to protect himself. We need him. We need him healthy. We need him week after week to play 16 games and play every playoff game we have. He is our best quarterback. Kirk Cousins is a great backup, but Robert is our starter. It's no secret he needs to protect himself and get down a little bit more than he did last year. I think that's all it is.
Statement number 2 in the trifecta of the RG3 circus this week. Dr. James Andrews famously operated on his knee. From all accounts, the recovery going very well. I want to read to you verbatim Dr. Andrews' statement, and then I just kind of want to get your response.
Okay.
He says, I've been real mum on talking too much about RG3. He wants his recovery to be fairly private, but I can tell you he's way ahead of schedule. His recovery has been unbelievable so far. RG3 is one of those superhumans. First patient I ever had that was like that was Bo Jackson. And recently, I, of course, had Adrian Peterson, who is also superhuman. They have an unbelievable ability to recover, whereas the normal human being may not be able to recover. Now, if you're a patient of Dr. Andrews, what do you make of this? Because he comes out right first and he says, well, I'm going to be mum about it, but then he starts to run his mouth.
Well, I have been a patient of Dr. James Andrews. He did my left shoulder, my first surgery ever, and it went wonderful, and he never said anything. Of course, I'm not as cool as Robert Griffin III.
In my eyes, you are.
Well, thank you very much. What I find interesting, though, is he says he wants me to be private, and then he goes on to call him superhuman. He's way ahead of schedule, and he compares him to Bo Jackson and Adrian Peterson. So maybe not so much private as you may have thought. That maybe has something to do with the book that he's got coming out, and who can hate a guy for being a capitalist? I will tell you this. I see Robert every day doing rehab. The man is working hard. I've never seen anybody work harder other than me, but he is doing a great job, and I would not be surprised if he's ready for game 1. If he's not, if he doesn't feel he is, he's got my backing. We need him to be healthy to play the whole year, and whatever he chooses to do will be the best for himself and the team.
Right. And certainly, you've seen it firsthand. That's another thing Coach Shanahan came out and said was, what unbelievable work ethic Robert has and working back and rehabbing from this injury. But he was hesitant to put a timetable on it. Now, after Shanahan spoke, after James Andrews issued his statement in that interview, Robert then gave a statement famously to Trey Wingo over at ESPN. And his statement says, "My knee is getting better every day. The doctors say I'm ahead of schedule. My goal is to return healthy in week 1, but if I'm not ready then, I will wait until I am, however long that is. My first NFL season and my injury that ended it showed me a lot about the league, my team, and myself. I know where my responsibility is within the dilemma that led to me having surgery to repair my knee, and all parties involved know their responsibilities as well." That is the key sentence there. "I'm looking forward to playing the game that we all love so much again and not behind at the negative. Thanks for all the overwhelming level of support that I've received. Sick 'em Bears and hail to the Redskins."
Boo Baylor. That's what I take from that. Boo Baylor.
Well, before we get into the whole college rivalry thing, I know where my responsibility is within the dilemma that led to me having surgery to repair my knee, and all parties involved know their responsibilities as well. Your thoughts?
I mean, well, the whole statement as a whole. I mean, he's talking about he's going to be ready to play. Hopefully, week 1. That's the goal. If not, he'll come back when he's ready. What is your question? There's a lot to that statement. So, what specifically are you asking me?
I mean, what do you take away from that? I mean, is he kind of pointing the finger at Dr. Andrews, at Coach Shanahan? What's going on there?
I don't think so because we're working together. We're all working as a unit, and we're not going to achieve the playoffs, the NFC East title, a Super Bowl championship with division and cracks in what we're trying to build in our foundation. So I don't think that's at all what's happening. I think it was a tough situation with what happened at the end of last year, whether to stay in the game, whether not stay in the game. He ended up getting hurt. So there's a whole lot of opinions out there, and people are going to want to dissect this and make a big deal out of it. Maybe you're one of those guys, maybe you're not. You can tell us in a minute. The way I look at it, we're all in it together.
I don't know that he's trying to make a big deal out of it. I think that he's simply doing what a statement does. It's responding to something somebody else has said or done. And in this case, he is acknowledging his responsibility, in that, okay, well, maybe I should have gotten rid of the ball. Maybe I should have gotten down. Maybe I should have gotten him out of bounds. I know where my responsibility is. And I think he's also alluding to the fact that he told Coach Shanahan that he could remain in the game he wanted to play. That's what players do. They never want to come out of the game.
I
I
agree.
remember you told me when you got injured last season in week 2, you wanted to also come back into the game, but you couldn't move your leg. It wasn't possible. But had you had your druthers, you would have been right back out there on the field. Can't fault him for that. My thing is, I know my responsibility, and all parties involved know their responsibility as well. That may be a veiled shot or an unveiled shot. Doesn't matter how you want to phrase it or look at it. It is a shot directly at Mike Shanahan and Dr. James Andrews. Here's why. Dr. James Andrews came out close to the end of the season before Robert got injured in that wild card game. Matter of fact, it was that morning. He comes out and he says he never gave clearance for Robert to go back into that game against the Baltimore Ravens. And then he misses the following week against the Cleveland Browns, finishes the season with that bulky knee brace. Okay. And then it's also a shot at Mike Shanahan because Shanahan put him back in the game, allowed him to go back in the game, maybe didn't ask the right questions. And as a coach, as a doctor, no matter how much you want your star player out there, no matter how much that star player wants to be out there, it's your job to protect that player. You can't risk further injury, especially in someone like Robert, who is the future of this franchise. You went out, you mortgaged the franchise to get this player, and you're going all in year 1. Forget all in for week 1. You went all in for year 1, and it almost proved disastrous. That was a direct shot at the coach and the doctor.
We got about 30 seconds left here. What's exactly he says? All parties involved know who's to blame or something to that
Know
effect.
their responsibilities.
I think what he's saying is we're all in it together. We all know our responsibilities. He's not single out any one person. It's just we're all in this together. Everyone has their responsibility. I think that's all he's saying.